Hi there, Coach Sam from AYS here. We're going to do some exercises for your hands and arms before you play your instrument. Okay, let's get to it. Just go ahead and stand wherever you are. Make sure you have good posture, your shoulders are back, your chest is open. You have just, nice straight line. Do what I call the broken wing. Alright, so you're going to bring your hand up. It's going to be, your wrist is going to be bent, your elbow is going to be tucked in. What we're going to do is we're going to have our wrist bent and straight. Bent and straight. Notice I'm not moving my shoulder at all. That's a really, really important thing that you don't move your shoulder, because we're just focusing on moving our elbow. Good. This kind of mimics bowing in and out, in and out, in and out. Okay, let's switch to the other arm. Bring your wrist up, just let it kind of hang. Alrighty, broken wing, up and down. My wrist is bent, straight, bent, straight, bent, straight, nice and relaxed. Don't push your arm further than this. It's a really small movement. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and move on. Just shake your arms out a little bit. It can be kind of tricky. Alrighty. I'm going to do what I call the light bulb change. So you're going to bring your hands up, and just as how you would turn your wrist for changing a light bulb, you're going to do that. You can put your hands in a fist, though I like to get best movement with my hands open. You can kind of stretch all the ligaments in between your fingers that way too. And just be aware how far your hand can turn. But don't turn it too far. You don't want to injure yourself. So just nice and relaxed. Okay? And do finger taps. We're going to start with our pinky. We're going to do tap, 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 tap. So just alternate in between your fingers. You can get slightly faster as we move on and increase the amount of taps. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now go ahead and alternate your fingers. That's kind of tricky. It's going to be pinky, pinky, middle, middle, thumb, thumb, first, first, third, third. Again, ready? Pinky, pinky, middle, middle, thumb, thumb, first, first, third, third. Now that we have our bow, we're going to go ahead and hold it horizontally. We're going to hold our hand out like a stop sign and bend our thumb. We're going to put it just in front of the winding that you have on your bow, whether it's silver, plastic, it doesn't matter. You're just going to have it bent, have the pad of your thumb facing upward towards the stick. You're going to have it bend down, slide it down, past the leather, until it is caught on this little edge right here. Okay, and then you're going to take your longest finger, your middle finger, wrap it around. Third finger wants to follow, so we'll let it. And it can sit right in front of the frog eye. Okay, keep your thumb bent. You'll be able to tug from the tip and have it not come out of your hand. And your first finger is, that first knuckle right here, is going to be bent on the stick somewhere around the edge of that leather. You don't want it too far out. You don't want it straight. You don't want it, impeding your ability to hold the bow. So just keep it nice and naturally bent. And then your pinky's just going to sit right on top. Just going to land right on top. It's not going to be straight in front. It's not going to be straight on the screw of the bow. It's just going to hang out right on top, okay? And with it, you should be able to do the following. Extend, flex, extend, flex, extend, flex. Now I'm holding the bow at the tip. If you need that support, that's fine. This is a great exercise, though, to help your fingers get used to this position. It may feel a little awkward at first, but that's okay. Alrighty, another way you can practice that is with a good old mechanical pencil, like the one I have right here. You can go ahead and reenact that. Just bend your thumb, middle finger around, third finger follows, first finger bent, leaning towards the tip. You want your hand to lean towards the tip. The pinky just rests on top. You'll be able to do the same thing. Alright, good. Now that you have your viola in your hands, go ahead and make sure your shoulder rest is on correctly. I like to have mine slightly leaning towards the left. It's going to make sure that your viola is nice and level once we have it up here. Okay, whether it's sponge or shoulder rest, go ahead and lift up your chin and make sure your viola is placed underneath it. You don't want your nose to be pointing towards the scroll, and you don't necessarily want your ear or the rest of your face to be kind of resting on it like this. You don't want to feel your jaw on this. What I like to use is kind of the end button, and it's going to be kind of touching your clavicle a little bit when you put it in the correct position. Okay, alrighty. Now that we have that, let's go ahead and bring our bow up to the string. And what we're going to try to do right here is we're going to do what I call the minute bow. We're going to be going down bow for 30 seconds and then up bow for 30 seconds. And a nice neutral string to do that on would be our G string. So let me go ahead and reset my timer for a minute. Okay, so remember we're on G string. We're going to be going down bow for 30 seconds and then up bow for 30 seconds. It's a really good warm-up. You want to make sure that your bow stays in between the bridge and the fingerboard. Here we go. For as long as you can, maintain a nice even sound. If it's too painful for you to go all the way to the tip, that's okay. Don't go through the pain. Switch directions. If you can't use the whole bow, that's okay. I'm pressing my index finger into the bow to make sure I maintain sound. Try to get as close as you can to a minute total, but if not, that's okay. And then you can go ahead and do that on all 4 strings, and it's a really, really good warm-up for you. Now we're going to go ahead and do a C major scale. We're going to do 2 octaves on all 4 strings. When we start out, we're going to be doing half notes. So we're going to be doing 2 beats per note. And I'll have my metronome set so we can do this together. Remember, 2 beats per bow. Try to use your whole bow and keep it in between the bridge and the fingerboard, okay? 2, 1, 2, ready, and. Let's go ahead and move on to 8th notes. So we're going to do 4 8th notes for every note. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So less bow, faster bow, still in between the bridge and the fingerboard. Keep your left hand wrist straight. Really loosen up your right wrist. So really important right there. You want to make sure that your elbow isn't going behind you, and you're not allowing it to go behind you. You're not allowing your shoulder to open up. So what I mean by that is we're not allowing our bow to do this. We're only focusing on opening and closing our elbow. So open, close, open, close, open, open. And so you're just going to be focusing on that. The only 2 joints that are moving are your elbow and your wrist. And really you can just, if you want to go really in depth for practice, you can focus on only moving your wrist. I try to play that forte, meaning I try to play that loud, full, strong, and different ways we can make our sound forte is by bringing our bow closer to the bridge when we play. We kind of have this area that we can play. We can stay in between these 2 lanes as long as our bow is straight. To make it more forte or loud, we're going to play closer to the bridge without making it screech or make any squeaking sounds. And then we're also going to do something, what I call adding weight and flexing our index finger into the bow. So as you can see right here, if I add weight or I press down with my index finger, the stick is going to touch the hair. I think you can see that a little bit closer. That's what we're going to do, is we're going to be sustaining that type of motion through an entire bow. So I'm going to play regular dynamic on G string. Now I'm going to try to play forte. So bring your bow a little bit closer to the bridge, press the stick into the hair. If you get a little bit of a screeching sound, that's okay. We're just practicing the differences. Normal. Loud. Normal. Okay, and then another way that we can change the dynamic up is if we play piano, which means quiet and light, and just a lot less weight on the string, so a lot less pressure or force coming down, which means we're going to do the opposite. We're going to bring our bow and it's going to be closer to the fingerboard, so further away from us. Another thing we can do is, since we can't really take our fingers off of the bow, we can kind of pretend we're lifting it up, or we're brushing the string, just very lightly, we're brushing the string. Another thing, the last thing I recommend doing to decrease your volume or dynamic is to roll your hand away from you, and so that you're rolling the hairs off of the string. Less hair, less sound. So let me show you. Let me demonstrate. It's going to be regular volume. I have all the hairs on the string. My hand isn't rotated. I'm going to do piano now. I don't know if you can see, but my hairs are rotated. Almost like you're brushing the string, very light. So let's go ahead and play the first 5 notes of C major scale. So it's going to be C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C. But we're going to do the 8th note rhythm that we just did when we were playing our scales. We're going to do it 1 time forte, which means loud and full and strong, and then 1 time piano, which is soft and gentle and very light on the string. Okay, so let's do it forte. We're going to do 4 8th notes for every note, forte. So it's going to be now let's go ahead and do it soft. So we're going to go over to the fingerboard. We're going to be very light. We're going to tilt our bow away from us. See how I rotated my wrist a little bit? Let's do that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Very nice. Something that I like to do before and after I play to improve the sound quality, especially when trying to play forte, a lot of rosin can build up near the bridge and near the fingerboard, and it can make this really crunchy sound. To avoid that from happening and to just increase your chances of producing a really, really nice and mature, beautiful sound, is to go ahead before and after you play. Go ahead and pinch your strings with a microfiber cloth or a t-shirt. Just make sure it doesn't have any chemicals or water on it. It can be very damaging. Go ahead and pinch your strings and just swipe up and down until you don't hear any screeching or any crunchiness anymore. And then move on to your next string. It's just good old maintenance. Okay, after you're done cleaning the strings, make sure you wipe underneath the strings, in between the bridge and the fingerboard, and then in between the tailpiece and the bridge as well. And with that, that concludes today's lesson. Alrighty, good luck practicing.